Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that a lot of people are wrestling with. You're trying the carnivore diet, you're all in, but it's just not working for you. Sound familiar? Okay, let's get into what might be going on. Yeah, this quote from health coach Lily Kane just hits the nail on the head, right? It's the exact frustration we're talking about. You feel like you're following the rules, you're sticking to the diet, but the needle just isn't moving. The results aren't what you expected. So, what gives? What is really going on here? All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with the carnivore conundrum. Then we'll talk about why you have to always read the label. After that, we'll get into the overconsumption trap, show you what Lily eats daily, and wrap up with something called the undereating paradox. Trust me, that last one is a biggie. So kicking things off with the carnivore conundrum. What does carnivore even mean? The first big hurdle we have to get over is that carnivore isn't just one thing. Lily Kane makes this great point. When someone says, I'm on a carnivore diet, it actually doesn't tell you much at all. It's this huge umbrella term. I mean, just look at this spectrum. Are you a lazy carnivore, a dirty carnivore, or maybe you're super strict, doing the lion diet, which is just ruminant meat, salt, and water. Then you've got hypercarnivore, raw carnivore, the list goes on. Each one of these is a totally different path. And the one you're on, well, that's going to drastically change your results. Okay, next up, always read the label. We've got to scrutinize those processed meats. This leads us right into Lily's first major rule. The issue often isn't the meat itself, it's what's hidden inside it. Seriously, you have to become a detective and read every single label. Okay, let's look at a classic example. On the left, a typical hot dog. Sure, it's beef, but look closer. It's also got dextrose, cornstarch, all sorts of fillers. Then on the right, you've got ground beef. What's in it? One thing. Beef. That's it. It seems like a small thing, but that difference right there can be everything. It can be the reason you're succeeding or the reason you're stalled. So here's your most wanted list. These are the culprits you'll find hiding in stuff like jerky, salami, even that rotisserie chicken you grabbed from the store. Dextrose, cornstarch, seed oils, and Lily makes a great point about fruit oils too. Even if it says olive oil on your canned fish, it might be cut with cheaper oils. You really have to be vigilant. A really good way to frame this is with a food quality hierarchy. It's not about being perfect, okay? It's about progress. Look, even a clean salami from the better column is a huge step up from candies or bread in the worst column. The whole game is just to keep trying to move one column to the right, choosing whole meats over processed meats, maybe even trying some organ meats. It's all about making a better choice today than you did yesterday. All right, on to our next section, the overconsumption trap. This is for when even the good foods are stalling your progress. So let's say you've totally cleaned up your diet. You're reading every label, but you're still stuck. What now? Well, Lily says the next thing to look at is just plain overconsumption. Yep, even of the clean stuff. And this leads us to a really important question you need to ask yourself. Is dairy derailing your diet? It's an animal product, so it seems like it should be fine, right? But for a lot of people, its unique properties can be a huge roadblock. So here's the deal with dairy. It's what we call hyperpalatable. Basically, it's so delicious it can almost feel addictive, which makes it super, super hard to control how much you eat. Lily tells a story about making a carnivore pizza and then realizing she had piled on something like 15 servings of cheese without even noticing. It's just that easy to overdo it. And this quote, this just captures it perfectly, doesn't it? That feeling where you're not even hungry, but you find yourself wandering to the fridge for just a little sliver of butter or a slice of cheese. It's almost mindless. That's when you know a food might have a little too much power over you. All right, let's shift gears. We've talked about the problems, so let's look at a solution. What does a simple, nutrient-dense foundation actually look like? Let's take a peek at what Lily Kane eats every day. Her daily staples are surprisingly simple. It all starts with high-quality ground beef. That's the base. Salt is a must. She also adds electrolytes to keep things like muscle twitches at bay. Butter is in there for fat and calories. And interestingly, she uses raw milk and raw yogurt. She prefers them unprocessed. She actually uses them to make sure she eats enough. And the yogurt acts as a kind of healthy dessert. See? Simple. Okay, now for our last section, and honestly, this might be the most important one. It's the under-eating paradox, a totally counterintuitive twist. This idea flips everything we think we know about dieting on its head, and it might just be the #1 reason you're stuck. So here's the question, is your weight loss stalled? Well, maybe you're not eating enough. I know, it sounds completely backward. Every diet book for the last 50 years has screamed, eat less. But what Lily's found over and over is that for a lot of stalled people, the real issue is their body has gone into a protective starvation mode because they just aren't giving it enough fuel. So how would you even know if this is happening to you? Well, here are the big red flags. Your weight loss has just stopped. You're feeling cold all the time. Maybe you're noticing more hair loss. Your energy is shot, you're not sleeping well, you're moody. These are all signs that your body is hitting the brakes and trying to conserve every bit of energy it has. So what does enough actually mean? Get ready for this. For Lily, who's 5'2", thriving means eating somewhere between 2,500 and 2,800 calories every single day. Just let that sink in. That number just completely flies in the face of typical diet advice, right? She finds that most people who are struggling are eating way less, maybe around 1,200 calories, which the body can easily mistake for a famine. And this quote really explains the why behind it all. Your body doesn't know that there's a fully stocked grocery store right down the street. All it knows is, hey, the food supply has suddenly been cut way back. It thinks a famine is happening, and its #1 job, its prime directive, is to keep you alive. That means holding on to every bit of body fat it can as an emergency fuel source. Okay, so let's tie this all together. Here is your personal 3-step carnivore audit. Step 1, read every label. Become a food detective. Step 2, moderate those too good foods. Be really honest with yourself about things like cheese and butter. And step 3, maybe the most crucial of all, fuel your body. Ask yourself, are you truly eating enough to avoid that starvation mode? And that's the big idea we want to leave you with. It's a provocative question, for sure. In a world that is constantly screaming at you to eat less, to restrict, to shrink, what if the real key, the real breakthrough you've been searching for, is actually eating more?